Hey, this is Mike and Tom with the Muscle and Speed podcast. We're here to talk about our favorite car movies, TV shows, music, and workouts, wheeling, whatever else comes to our mind. We're going to be posting these up once a week. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Muscle and Speed. We also have a website, www.muscleandspeed.com, where we'll eventually be selling some merch. Our goal here is to share our passion for all these things with the people who feel the same way. All right, we're back, man. How you feel?
Fantastic. How's it going?
Well, I'm alive. Survived well, it's a short week, right?
You have a beer.
I have a beer in my hand. Thank you. That's your beer. We just had some delicious tacos. Man. So we got some cool shit going on this week.
We do.
We got Foo Fighters tomorrow in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Gonna see if Dave Grohl still got the magic. You know what I went out and bought? I shouldn't say went out and bought. I went online and purchased on my Amazon Fire.
What?
Their Skin and Bones concert.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Concert.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You know, yeah. I know it's of course it's acoustic, but when that came out, and I think I saw it on like that weird HD channel. It was like one of the first HD channels. I forget what it was called even. I think it was HD Net. It was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that came out, and I was so excited when I found it that I went out and bought the CD, because that's what you still did that then.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually bought another copy of it and gave it to my nephew, Andrew, who is he likes playing guitar and stuff like that. And I was just so impressed by it, to watch David Grohl play guitar and then play the drums and play all these different instruments and sing the way he does. I've always been a fan of theirs, but that really blew me away. Really did.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed because, this day and age, you get that Milli Vanilli thing going sometimes, where the studio makes them sound a little better than they actually do, or makes the instruments a little different than they actually are.
Yeah, they're the real deal, that's for sure.
They are the real deal. And that probably happens less in rock than it does in, like, pop.
All right. Kyle's going to be ridiculous.
Kyle's going to be ridiculous.
He's going to be fangirling like his daughter's at a Taylor Swift concert.
Yes, he will.
But that's okay, because it's his birthday.
Yeah. And, I'd be more concerned if it was Dave Matthews Band.
All right. Again?
And I'm a fan of theirs too, but Kyle's really a fan of theirs.
Yeah. Well, nobody's perfect.
But I'm hoping, either on the way down or on the way back, we'll be able to do a little interview with Kyle and Dominic and me and you, and just a bullshit session where we just have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on the way down and back, who knows? My voice recorder lasts 30 hours on a charge, so.
That's enough.
Just enough. It's just enough. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about the concert. They're one of those bands when you look back, there's a dozen songs minimum of theirs that I like. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I've never seen him in concert.
Yeah, me either. Well, I've not been to many concerts in my life. So
No, me either.
This would be, I've probably been to a half dozen concerts, maybe more, but it's in that range. Big fans usually, they go to many. And Metallica's playing tonight, right?
I think
Or is it
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
I think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They're in Milwaukee too, right?
Yeah. I know. But we've been there. We
Yeah.
saw them.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was.
We were backstage. We're never going to beat that.
No.
We had VIP. We were backstage.
Yep. Said, "What's up to James?"
Yeah. That's... We're never going to beat that. So, yeah, I've been telling him at work. I said, well, it's me and Tommy and Kyle and Dominic were going to go down to Milwaukee unsupervised for a concert. Who knows what could happen? But I'm pretty pumped. That's going to be fun. Going to be fun. Poor JT's in the same situation Dominic was when we went to see Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
A little too young to tag along.
Almost there, but not quite.
Not quite. Not quite. So, yeah, I don't know. We're leaving what? Tomorrow morning.
We gotta decide what time.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I'm going to get up when I normally do, so I'm going to get up early.
I'm not. I'll get up at 6 maybe, but
well,
I'm
that's
not.
what I mean by early. I'll get up my usual time, which is around 6:30. And I'm down for whatever. I mean, as far as I'll drive or not, whatever you guys want to do.
We'll have Dominic drive us to meet Kyle.
And then we're meeting him over at Koski Corners and then cruising down.
Yep.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I was thinking about I remember when we went down to Metallica. Remember Kyle had like every song of theirs. And we were playing through listening to all of our favorites. And with them, I remember we listened to a different song like the entire, all the way down.
Yep.
There was enough music we could.
5-hour trip.
5-hour trip. We didn't have a repeat. We just listened to. That's all. That's when you know you're going to see a good band.
Yeah.
If you can do that, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to set it up where we could have Will on the podcast tonight, and I'm trying to work things out where we can have a guest over Skype. I see that you can do it, and I had it set up so that you could, except I couldn't get both mics to work and Skype to work at the same time. So I know you can do that. I just, in the time we have, I wasn't figuring it out fast enough. So eventually I will. And then we'll have people on with us more frequently. So I think Kyle would be game, but he lives all the way over in Nagani, so it would have to be a Skype thing. Although the internet is questionable, so I don't know how that'll work either.
We'll get him out to camp.
Yeah. Have him go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
We'll Skype him from there. Kyle, I'm going to order you a plate of wings. Yeah, that's I'm really excited that we go. I think this is going to be great.
It is. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So did you watch the game last night? Let's talk a little football.
I watched long enough that it looked like San Fran was going to do it.
Yeah.
I went to bed kind of excited.
Except he gave number 12 the ball with the game on the line.
The GOAT. I was actually happy for Crosby that he kicked it for him.
Miss.
No. I actually felt bad in that Detroit. I really didn't. I felt bad for him.
Kind of. You kind of felt bad because it's, as a Detroit fan, you'd want to beat Green Bay. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we have to.
That's like Michigan beating Wisconsin over the weekend.
Oh, right?
Yes. So, what did we say? Harbaugh can't beat a dick if he's going to lose to all the big teams he plays. Well, he handled Wisconsin, and now they're ranked 6th.
Just like that.
Just like that.
12th to 6th.
Yep. Well, you beat a team like that, and you're gonna go up. Notre Dame is ranked 4th, and that's part of the other reason. In years past, it seemed like they would lose to a team that would go on to lose to a bunch of other teams, but Notre Dame is really good. So Notre Dame's ranked 4th, and Michigan is 6th now, so it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they gotta beat Ohio State.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Oh.
They're one of the best recruiting colleges in football, and they're always stacked. They are always stacked. Did you finish this season of Ballers?
Is it over?
It is.
That was I watched the last episode last night then.
There's the 9th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I got all caught up to it and finished it off, and You know, Ohio State's in that, right?
Yeah.
That booster arrested him or got him arrested and then threatened him. I thought that was pretty neat. Because I'm not an Ohio State fan.
Dirty Ohio State.
Dirty ass Ohio State. And the NCAA. That's kind of what I like. It's not, you know, it's not just them parodying what happens in real life. The NCAA is an incredibly corrupt organization that has built itself on the bodies of young men. That is absolutely the truth.
Yep.
They get their Nike deals, their Reebok deals, their Russell Athletic deals. They get their Jordan deals. You know, Michigan has a Jordan deal and a Nike deal.
Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
And kids are dying from heat stroke or something stupid. And
or they blow their shoulder out in their third year of eligibility. They drop them, pull their scholarship, and they're kicked out of school.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of these athletes are poor young kids. But that's it. Their athletic ability was their only way out, and you just took it because they got hurt playing for you.
Yep.
You know, and I like that. That's how the season ended. Was the NCAA trying to talk him out of his lawsuit, and he wouldn't back down. I wish that were real. I really do. I think back when the Fab Five, you know, for Michigan, in the early '90s, you know, after that when they got in trouble for, you know, booster interference and, you know, the money they were getting paid. I love that comedian that joked that they were talking about Shaq's money, and they were like, "What? I thought Shaq got rich in college." Like, well, and that's the dirty little secret. The NCAA could bust every program in the nation anytime they want.
Sure.
They all do it.
Yep.
And even if the program has no knowledge, their boosters do it. These kids all want money. And rightly so. You know, I remember, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, going into March Madness, there was a bunch of the superstar college players were talking about forming a group and sitting it out if they didn't get paid. They've got to do something, man.
Yeah.
There's way too much money there. These universities are supposed to be not for profit, and look at what they're doing. You know, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
And they're always crying to their alumni, you know, give us more money as they're building new buildings and hiring more professors. And, you know, I know that's not for every college, because if you play for, you know, a smaller school, they don't get, you know, the drop-off is huge once you leave Division I.
Yeah.
But even so, the point is still the same. These kids, they don't, it isn't right. It isn't right. It is exploitation. I guess if when they got hurt, or when kids get hurt, if they were allowed to keep their college scholarship and finish their education, that might even be enough. I don't know. But the fact that they lose everything if they get hurt playing for you, I do not agree with that.
No.
You know, because here's the thing, guys. If you're a college athlete, because they say that costs them money, right? So when a college team they're allotted by the university a certain amount of scholarships that they're allowed to give, whether it's full scholarships, partial scholarships, or whatever, to go recruit with. Here's the thing. That professor is paid based on X amount of students in his class. They don't count the student athletes against that number. And so when they say, oh, it's too expensive to keep them on when they're not playing for our team, that is a load of crap. The only thing it costs them is room and board in the university dormitories. And even that is minimal when you are... Because here's the thing.
Compared to the size of their budgets, their sports, but it's meaningless. It's meaningless.
And compared to the amount of students, you know, it's a dormitory. They don't have a freaking electric meter on each room.
Exactly. Well,
whether you have a dorm with one floor that has 50 kids in it or 48 kids, what difference does that make to their bottom line? None. That's a load of garbage. That's hot garbage, folks. Those kids deserve better. So I don't feel bad at all when I hear, oh, so-and-so got free tattoos, or so-and-so got a car from a dealership, or so-and-so's mom got a car. Who cares? Screw you. What did you get?
Yep.
I know the Michigan Tech University president's chef makes $65,000 a year to cook him food every day.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass. That is a load of crap right there. And they're worried about their student athletes. They get injured. Oh, we gotta let them go. We gotta cut them loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Maybe you don't need the lobster bisque for lunch today.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a little ranty.
It was good though.
Other thing I wanted to talk about, because Lions had a bye week, so we don't have nothing to talk about with them, other than I hope some guys get healthy because they play in Miami, and it looks like Ryan Tannehill will be back to start for Miami, and he's pretty good, and Miami's pretty good, so they're going to have to play really well to beat them. I don't think many people expect them to, but they beat the Patriots.
Yeah, time will tell.
So what the heck? Hope springs eternal right now.
Patriots just beat Kansas City.
They did. And that was another one.
Brady.
Give Brady the ball with some time left.
Got Edelman back.
And he will knock your teeth out, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You just see it in his eyes. You know, I was texting someone, Mike, down in Milwaukee. He was at a bar with a buddy watching the game. And we were kind of texting. He's like, God, I can't believe we're losing to this team. I said, I don't know, man. You know, you give number 12 another shot at this. You know, I think he's got it. And it was funny, though, because it comes all the way down to it, and they scored, and they tied it, and then they come back down, and Crosby's got that field goal for, 27 yards, or whatever it was. It was pretty short. But we were both like, what if he misses it?
Oh.
But, man. And freaking San Francisco. For the last 10 minutes of that game, they went 3 and out every time they had the ball, and they had chances. What's up with that? I mean, they hung 30 points on Green Bay. It's not like they couldn't move the ball.
Right.
But right at the end of the game, they didn't do anything. So I don't know if it was conservative play calling. What the hell was going on there?
They didn't get it done.
They didn't get it done. They needed to take some time off the clock. Or as Goodrow would say.
Second clock.
Yep. That's what they needed to do, and they didn't. And Aaron Rodgers did what Aaron Rodgers does. And I swear to God, though, if that guy has 10 seconds on the clock, that's enough.
Uh-huh.
That's enough for him to get down and put points on the board.
Yep.
He's amazing. And those receivers, you know, I was watching that, though, and I was thinking, in the huddle, he must call a spot because he was throwing to spots. On that final drive, those weren't like, I'm looking to see who's open. He went back. He didn't read a progression. He went back, and he threw it to a spot, and those receivers were running out to that spot and catching it. That was impressive. That was really impressive.
Yeah, the guy's something else.
He is.
He's annoying.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of different fans out there, but I, as a Detroit fan, I think Aaron Rodgers really is the greatest to ever do it. He makes all the throws, all of them. He makes plays with his feet. You know, he looks off defenses. He reads everything. To me, he's a little bit better than Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, which would be the other two, and Drew Brees that are right there. Someone was trying to make the argument to me the other day that Brett Favre is better than Aaron Rodgers, and I was like, you're kidding, right? And don't get me wrong, I think Brett Favre is a fantastic quarterback. He's one of the toughest guys to ever play football. Probably the toughest quarterback to ever play football.
Sure.
That was helped by his Favre juice for many years.
Yeah.
Which did him no favors, and he'll tell you that now, as he can't remember nothing. And his memory is shot day to day. He said it's scary. What he doesn't.
I heard him talking about that. Yeah.
It's bad. But he played with his balls, so what are you gonna do? He had him right out there, every game, every play. Someone like Warren Sapp would light him up, and he'd jump up, get in his face, and go at him again.
Yep.
He didn't care.
No.
You know, it's different. I do think if in his career, if they protected the quarterback the way they do now, things would have been different for him towards the end. Way different, because he was very talented. But all things considered, no. Aaron Rodgers is way better than Brett Favre. Like a few degrees higher, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But whatever. It's all Green Bay.
Ugh.
At least they haven't gone. At least they haven't wised up and started using free agency to fill their gaps so they can win a Super Bowl. At least their GM is hell bent on just drafting and developing talent and ignoring free agency.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for everybody else
Yeah.
other than Green Bay. Because if that guy ever figures that little chestnut out and go, in '94 we signed Reggie White, and the very next year we won a Super Bowl. In 2007 we signed Charles Woodson and Tony Siragusa. I think so. Because the Goose was on their team for a little while too. I'm trying to remember, was that time? But at any rate, the very next year they win a Super Bowl. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To me, those things seem to go together.
Yep.
They seem to. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, Detroit won an NFC Championship game, or went to an NFC Championship game in 1991, and they had 2 All-Pro offensive linemen. They had All-Pro defensive backs. They had an All-Pro defensive lineman.
Had decent running back.
They had the greatest running back to ever do it. And they slowly pissed that talent away over the next 5 years.
Yep.
That's not how you win, folks. That's not how you do it. You add to your talent. You don't give it away. Matt Millen. I'm going to trade Sean Rogers for a guy that no one remembers. Sean Rogers was one of the best DEs in football for many years. That was the only good player we had for a long time. And they traded him to Cleveland for a cornerback who was out of the league the very next year.
Wow.
And Sean Rogers played for like 6 more years
Wow.
at a high level. Enough about that. And the Brewers won. So I was congratulating him in general. The Brewers won last night, and then Green Bay won. So that was a good night for him. Good night out with buddies, I'm sure. Yeah, that was something. Hopefully Detroit can do their thing against Miami. To be honest, I know Miami's good, but I don't know who the hell's on their team other than Ryan Tannehill. Do you know?
No.
Do you know a single
Tannehill's
player?
the only guy I know.
Yeah. I know they're a good team, and I have no idea who plays for them. That's the thing. Here's the thing where Will would come in nicely. If we're talking about football, he knows all these things.
Does he?
He can pull it all right out. He knows all the players. He knows all the teams. He knows the formations.
I know they lost Sue from last year.
Yeah.
And they lost their good receiver from last year. He went to the Browns.
Yeah. That's the last undefeated team. The Rams.
Yeah.
The last one standing.
Yep.
That's a tough. It's what?
They're stacked.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's doing really well.
Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Sue, and Donaldson. I mean, like, where's your time off? Like, you know, they say in a fight, if a guy's a really good striker, if you can get him in the clinch and he's not great in the clinch, you can rest there for a minute, right? You take time off.
Yeah.
Where do you take time off against the Rams?
Yeah.
They're either running it down your throat, passing it over your head, and then when they're on defense, they are smashing through your offensive line. Smashing you. That's a tough one, man. Because those are 2 guys that require a double team.
Yep. And how did they get those talented players?
I don't know.
I think they got them through free agency, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Green Bay would have scoffed at that idea. I scoff at you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Let's give Aaron Rodgers, Todd Gurley, Sam Donaldson,
Yeah.
and Dominican Sue. I know Green Bay fans hate Sue, but I always tease them. That's only because he's not on your team. If he was on their team stomping on Matt Stafford, they'd be like, you know, Detroit's kind of thuggish. I think Matt had it coming. He probably said something about him. Maybe Matt's racist. He deserved a stomp.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see that.
Oh man! So if you at the very end of the game, what's San Fran's the backup quarterback? Beerhart or Beardhart or that's his name.
I didn't watch it to the end. Yeah, I don't even know who the
Their
backup is.
Yeah, because Garoppolo's out.
Yep.
And he actually played really well up to the end of the game, but what's interesting to me was Matthews comes in and sacks him at the end of the game. And it was in a pretty crucial point. Like, if they would have got a first down, because, Green Bay needed nearly every second to get this win.
Yeah.
Matthews comes down and he sacks the quarterback. And I'm absolutely not advocating that he should have been called for a penalty because he shouldn't have. And I'm glad that he wasn't. But those are the same hits that he's been called for the past 3 weeks. So what was different?
Right.
He grabbed him, pushed him down on the ground, and still kind of landed on him and rolled off him. What's different? That's where I think the players are getting screwed because you don't know what the hell they're going to call. I think some refs think the rule is bullshit and they're not going to call it that way, and other refs are calling it right as it's written, which is stupid, but it's a mess right now. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's going to get changed at the end of the season. I do think that. But, I don't know. We'll see. What else did I want to talk to you about? Putting the cars away. That sucks.
Looks like you did it.
Well, I got the Cutlass put away.
Yeah.
I got the garage cleaned out and swept, put everything up.
I got some room for your car at my place.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll just get out there, throw the cover on it. Probably this coming weekend, if that's okay.
Yep. It's that time.
It is. We had snow the other day. It's supposed to be snow tonight. And it's supposed to be 60 Thursday. Because Michigan. Lows in the 20s. Get up to 60 the next day. But yeah, that's good though, because it'll give me time. The pool's drained. I'm ready otherwise. I got to put some stuff in the shed, but we're pretty ready for winter. I know. I was sharing with you something that I thought was pretty cool. And you being a Ford guy really appreciates it, of course. But the Ford GT won the Manufacturers Championship.
I saw that.
That's huge.
Yep.
And then the Mustang won the GT Manufacturers Championship for Ford this year. Also huge.
They did very well.
It did it in the same year. I can't believe that happens very often. For one, the Ford GT hasn't raced since '69. So it hasn't been since at least then. And I think because Ford won the Trans Am series in the GT350 ran first, and then the Boss 302 ran in '69-'70. But they didn't win in '69. They won in '70. And I want to say the Camaro won in '68 and '69, but I'm thinking the Mustang I know won in '65, '66, and maybe '67. So I would think the last time they won together would have been '67.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
What have they been running in the mid '60s? Will they have been like 29 hypos or what?
Depended. Back then they were allowed to run different configurations depending, but they had the 289 or the 427.
So put the 427 in the Mustangs for the racing?
Oh, I'm sorry. In the Mustang, no, it would have been a 289.
Okay.
Yeah, the GT350 ran a 289.
Yep.
289 hypo. Those little cars. They didn't weigh nothing. They wouldn't weigh nothing. Your Uncle Paul's got a 66, right?
Yep.
It's a nice coupe.
Used to be my mom's.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
Been in the family a long time.
A very long time.
That's awesome. I hope to one day be able to say that about the Cutlass. Or maybe I should say my grandkids be able to say that about the Cutlass. Who knows if I'd still be around. I hope it's still in the family. because that's a fun car.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the way prices are going with muscle cars, and anybody who's into muscle cars knows this, they're all getting ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
That's like your Mach 1, dude. You invested right at the right time and got the right car. Because that thing costs... I can't imagine what that would cost to try to buy it just as it sits now. That would be a lot of money. Because I just paid, what, 30-ish for my Challenger. And your car's worth more than that. A lot more.
Less and less of them every day.
Less and less.
They're not making them anymore.
Well, I kept wrecking them in John Wick. Driving the price up.
Yeah.
Come on, Keanu. Get it together. That's what CGI's for. Yeah, the 70s Chevelle. That's a great movie, too.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm. You know, every once in a while you come across a movie like that. And I know sometimes you go sequel after sequel and it gets played out, and then you kind of wish they never, they kind of quit at some point. Quit on a high note, For those of you who have seen Smokey and the Bandit 2 and 3, you know what I'm talking about. Just stopped after the first one. The whole elephant thing in the second one is just beyond. But yeah, I think this is a series that could go on for a while.
Sure.
There's so much you can do with that.
Yep.
That is just awesome. Just awesome. And then we're going to watch Hotel Artemis one of these nights.
That looks entertaining.
It does. It does. I want to see that. I missed it at the theater. And you and I were just talking, like, we both like Smoking Aces, and to me it has that vibe, that feel. And Smoking Aces is
for sure
awesome.
Yes.
What a great action film. I'm 100% positive if you go in thinking you're going to get like the next Coen Brothers, deep dive into a character study that's also awesome. Don't. That's probably not what this is. But you got Jodie Foster and Dave Bautista and Jeff Goldblum and you got all these guys in there. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be very entertaining if nothing else. Yeah. I'm kind of bummed out about putting the cars away, man. It's gonna be 5 months.
I know, it's rough.
5, 6 months.
It's rough.
And it feels early. Is it early? It feels early. I feel like I'm owed like 2 more weeks.
Mid-October.
And I just did that thing I said I would do, which is hit the arm of the microphone.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's all good.
Hit it with my beer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mid-October, I guess. Snow's coming at some point, right? Yeah,
it just is.
It kills me though, man. It freaking kills me. 6 months.
Yep.
Ugh. I told Jules, like, if I sold my truck, could I just put snow tires in the Challenger and go for it? What do you think, man?
I say go for
Can
it.
I do it?
Absolutely.
Well, I say that because over in Newberry, there's a guy selling a set of SRT, factory SRT, forged aluminum wheels for $200. I almost need to go buy those.
You need to get those.
Just for an extra set. They're
Yeah.
the older style, like the series before mine.
Okay.
But they're SRT forged aluminum alloy wheels.
$50 a piece.
Yeah. I was like, I could throw some snow tires on there.
Yeah.
Go narrow, go with like 245s on there.
Mm-hmm.
Would do okay. It's a heavy car.
You'd be fine.
Turn the traction control off, just let it spin. The only problem there is the salt. It actually would be doable if it wasn't the salt.
Yeah, there's many days will go for a week or two with frozen bare blacktop roads, but there's that salt and dust everywhere.
Kills you. And you see that ship came in.
I heard it came in. I didn't
pictures
see
of
it.
a huge mountain of salt just got
Yep.
dropped in the Portage Canal. They're ready, man. They're ready. But next year, I want to do some more stuff with our cars. I feel like I do more every year, but then at the end of the season, I'm always like, man, could have done more. Could have had more fun.
Yeah, I didn't take my car out enough.
We got to get out there with them. And the old ones.
You know, I think next year the T-Bird's going to be a classic.
That's awesome.
I think it's going to come out again next year. It's been parked for a few.
That baby's dying for some Flowmasters.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to Mike Finnegan, and I think it was on one of his podcasts, or it might have even been on one of the episodes of Roadkill. But he said that. He goes, you know, if you're talking about legendary things in the hot rodding community, he goes, you have to throw this out there. He goes, the small block Ford, not just the 289 and the 302, he goes, but the 4.6 up to the 3-valve engine that I had in my 2005.
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, you put a pair of Flowmasters on there, and he's like, that's the best sounding V8 you will ever hear. He goes, the Roadrunner, or not the Roadrunner, but the Coyote and the Roadrunner, they have more of a raspy, like, they're higher pitched, and they're faster, it almost sounds like the burble is faster.
Yeah.
And so they sound a bit different. But I agree with him. That black Mustang I thought that thing sounded
it did.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it did.
I think that's why I did so many burnouts with that thing. Beyond the fact that I love doing them.
Uh-huh.
It's just listening to it. That's like, you know what, as stupid as it is, this is what I think. And for you folks out there, and I've seen a few of them for sale recently, get a 2005 Mustang GT with an automatic. Swap in 411 or 410 rear gears. Put those Flowmasters on there. And that's heaven. You're going to be in bliss every time you go out. That's going to sound amazing no matter what you're doing. Get that TCI ratchet shifter they made for it. Oh, yeah. That's a good time. Just listen to it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm thinking about it right now. That would be cool. Well, you know, I keep saying I do want to go drag racing. We've got to. And neither of my cars are really good for it, so.
Have to buy one.
I want to get an older automatic Mustang. I just got to convince my wife. Okay, so near us right now, there's a 1995, so it's 302, 1995 Mustang GT automatic. It's a 331 stroker, Keith Black, completely forged, $4,000. He's got the black bullet wheels. It's gray. He's got the Mach 1 front spoiler on it. You got that
with the custom motor?
Yeah, 331 stroker, $4,000.
Wow, there's more than that in the motor.
Yes, there is.
Nice.
And then the other thing I saw just recently was a 62 Galaxy, 351 Cleveland with a 410 Posi.
62 Galaxy?
Yeah, that's a good time. It's all blacked out. Got Gregors on it. The problem is, if I buy anything like that now, my wife is going to literally run me over with it. I've already got two. If I go for that third, I'm going to be in trouble. I know it.
Worth it.
But I would love to go down to WIR or Union Grove. Just do it. Do it on a testing tune night where it doesn't matter. I don't even care if I race anybody. We'll go down there with a vehicle, a couple of my vehicles. We'll race them against each other. We might do it anyway. Take the Challenger down, race it against the Cutlass. That'd be fun too, actually. That might have to happen. If that's all I can do.
It would be fun to go there.
You can drive the Challenger down, I'll take the Cutlass. Because Julie can't drive a stick.
Wait, she's coming?
Maybe. I don't know if she'd want to be honest.
No,
Maybe.
she won't want to. No, she would.
Might.
She would.
I might get her to drive one. When they say if you every 100 pounds out of your car shaves a tenth. Well, if I'm
There's
almost,
a couple tenths.
Yeah. If I'm almost 300 pounds and she weighs about 100, well, That's 2 tenths right there. Put my big butt in the Challenger, and she might be there.
Can she see over the dash of the Cutlass? Does she need a
No.
periscope?
I don't know. She's driven it. She did a burnout in front of the house.
That's
remember?
right. That's right.
I was so proud.
Yeah. You were?
I was so
Remember
proud.
that? That's my girl.
Yeah. I was like, yes, look at that mark. Look at that mark on the road. Ah, woman. Not in a sexist way, though.
No.
In a proud husband way that's being respectful. Swear to God. Yeah. That's a good time. We got to do it, though. Oh, yeah. The last thing I wanted to talk about. Remember how I said in the beginning of this, I don't want to talk about political crap because there's enough of that shit on the internet. I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I want to talk about it. Because, okay,
Which part?
I'm Native American, right?
Yep.
Yeah. LTVB. I just raised my fist. You can't see it. But LTVB. Little Travis Bay Band. So Elizabeth Warren made this comment a while back that what was it exactly? She made some reference to Pocahontas, or someone did, and she took offense because she's Native American.
Yeah. I just remember her saying she's Native American.
She's a Cherokee. That's what she said. I'm part Cherokee, and I blah, blah, blah. Well, and to me, you have to be crazy, okay? I'm going to preface this. I think she's crazy, and here's why. Just looking at her, she even went to make some fairly stereotypical racist comments about having high cheekbones and loving her powwow chow, okay? Yeah, she said that. So she says this, and this is why I think she's crazy. I think she's crazy because she knows damn well she's not Native American, okay? She knows she's not Native American. So why in the hell did she go out to Stanford University, where her friends are, and have a DNA test done? The part that I find shocking about it is that they didn't back her up.
Well.
They said that she might have Native American, not Native American. They named 3 indigenous tribes from like South America, Mexico area. Okay. 1,024th. 6 to 10 that's 400 to 600 years ago. Someone in her family probably raped someone from South America. I'm saying it. Okay? So this is the thing about it. Okay, in my opinion, the thing that you do then is you come out and apologize and just be like, look, my mom told me I was and I believed her. I could see that, sure.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me I was and I believed it. I didn't know. Sorry. I'll stop saying it. Nope.
She didn't do that.
She didn't do that. They doubled down on it. All these news places. And again, I will say, I know people are going to think that I'm a conservative and I'm stumping for Donald Trump. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I fall somewhere on my own path, somewhere down the one side or the other, given any given day. But whatever. How on the hell does she double down on that? You have ABC News and CNN go, yep, look at it. She proved her ancestry.
Yep, there it is.
Native American. And they didn't give any of the specifics. They just said, DNA test proves it. You have to be crazy.
Yep.
You have to be freaking crazy. Now, we just went through that white chick who got her perm and a tan who was claiming to be black and got kicked out of the NAACP. If Elizabeth Warren can be Native American, that woman can sure as hell be black.
Yep.
Sorry. That is a bunch of crap. What a bunch of crap. And yeah, I know most people won't look deep enough into it to even care. They're going to just assume that whatever anybody said, the person that they want to believe is the one they're going to believe.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They don't care. Most people don't care what the truth of it is. I'm one of the people who do. And so if Donald Trump says something that I don't agree with, or I think he's a liar, or I think whatever, I'm going to say I think that. If Elizabeth Warren says she's a Native American and she's obviously not, I'm going to say that too. And she's a liar. That's disgusting. And it is racist. Okay, so they go this far, right? And the Cherokee Nation, Oklahoma, or Arkansas, they come out and they're like, listen, stop dragging our name through this crap. You're not a member of our tribe. You're not affiliated with our tribe. You have no descendancy or association with our tribe. There is no part of you that has ever been a part of this tribe. No part of your ancestry, no part of your people. Stop bringing us up.
Good.
They said that the true function of DNA tests is not something that you can use to assert affiliation with any specific group. A DNA test is not going to say you're Apache. A DNA test is also not going to say you're Irish.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they do. And so they do have a useful function in that if you want to learn those things about yourself, whether you're European, you know, it can be a little specific, but not that specific. And so it's they were just saying, like, you're making us look bad, you're making DNA tests look bad, and you're making yourself look bad. You know, so you had these tribes come out and just say it, like, knock it off. Take our name out your mouth.
Yep.
You have nothing to do with us, and we have nothing to do with you. Enjoy your powwow chow. All right, that's all I wanted to say about that.
It won't cost her much.
No,
She'll
unfortunately, no. People aren't going to care.
No.
You know, it's... It's the wrong kind of cultural appropriation. Okay? Because here's what I think. If as dumb as I think it can be at times, but for someone to want to be whatever, you know, if you want to sound southern that you live in Michigan and you wear cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, that's appropriation. I don't really care. Because you're not doing it for political gain. That's the difference.
Yep.
If you're using cultural appropriation for political gain, now I have a problem with what you're doing. You know, you can identify as whatever you want. I really don't care. But if you're doing it for political gain and you're lying about it, now we have a problem. Now we have something that does need to be addressed. And this is something, you know, again, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. But if the Dems think they're going to win in November with crap like this, you're not. Because you're galvanizing someone like me to vote against you.
Yeah.
And I'm a fence sitter, right? I'm the one you're trying to convince.
Which way you're going to fall?
Right. I can't stand it. Oh.
Well, at least we've been in the gym a lot working on all this angst.
Is that the
Oh,
problem?
wait. Oh, wait.
I did skip it.
We did.
Problem, though?
We did.
Now I can't stop thinking about it. What are we going to do, man? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to Milwaukee tomorrow. We're going to drop our crap off at the hotel. We're going to go to Moe's. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go to the concert. We're going to have a great time there. We're going to get up in the morning and come home.
Put those youngins to bed.
Yep. It's going to be good. That's what I know. Was there anything else? I can't even think. I got sidetracked by that stupid Elizabeth Warren thing.
No, you pretty much hit it there.
Yeah, it's stupid. But, oh, I know. A guy we watched for many years and followed for many years, Fedor. He's 42 years old. I thought he was younger than us. He's older than us. Fought. He's in the heavyweight Grand Prix for Bellator. And now he's in the finals. He fought Chael Sonnen, which I know everyone's going to be like, well, Chael never fought a heavyweight. Well, Chael's about as big as Fedor. Fedor's not a big guy. He's about 6 feet-ish tall, maybe a little under. 230-some pounds, 240, kind of pudgy. And he beat the crap out of Chael. Because Chael's a 205er. Generally, he's a 205-pound guy. Yeah, he fought at 185, but he's a wrestler. He's cutting quite a bit to do that. And his walk-around weight is more like 230. So they're actually pretty close in size.
Yeah.
But yeah, he mauled him. I mean, he mauled him. I was scrolling through YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook. Saturday night, I was sitting on the couch by myself. I think I was watching old Top Gear episodes again or something, and I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw that Fedor was fighting tonight. So I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen him fight in forever.
It's been years since I've seen him.
I know he went on like a losing streak and he kind of retired and then he came back, and so I was like, usually when that happens, fighters, that's not a good thing.
Right.
Usually their brains are getting scrambled at that point and they're making poor decisions. But didn't seem to be. Chael said before the fight, he's like, what did he said, they say Fedor's really fast. He goes, I want to know if he's fast for a heavyweight or is he fast for real? And I think he'd say he's really fast.
Yeah.
And he said everything he hit me with, everything. He goes, when he grabbed me, when he did everything hurt. He hurt him with everything he did.
Ugh.
He got Chael out in the first round. Just had him on the ground pummeling him the way he used to see. And that's what I'll say for Fedor, and we talked about it before. In his prime, the thing that shocked me about him is how he could get his whole body behind every single punch he threw.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if they were standing on the ground, up against the fence. When he threw a punch, he would turn his hips, he'd turn his body, and every ounce of him was in that shot every time he threw a punch, and he was fast.
And he won a lot back in the day.
27 fights in a row at one
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Remember when he knocked our Andrei Arlovsky out in midair?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Shot him out of the air.
that was nuts.
Yep.
And then we saw Big Tim Sylvia was going to go over there and finally teach little Fedor a lesson.
Yeah.
First round, within 30 seconds. He just knocked him
slick out.
And, you can say whatever you want, but Tim's a tough dude.
Yep.
He's a tough dude, and he's fought a lot of tough guys, and he wasn't old at that point or washed up by any means. And Fedor friggin' starched him. Yeah, I don't know, man. On some levels, I think that's really cool, but I know a 42-year-old man doesn't need to get punched in the head like that. I still think that's bad. It's a bad deal overall.
Yep.
That's not good.
Better things to do at that age.
He's rich.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing? You just want to do it one more time? Hear the fans one more time? That's the danger, right? Football players
Got one more in me.
got one more in me. Come on. One more season. One more game. One more fight. And it always ends badly. So he's fighting Ryan Bader in the heavyweight Grand Prix final. Ryan's a wrestler, not a big puncher. The only thing I really remember Ryan Bader for is he fought Tito Ortiz, and Tito knocked him out like 5 years ago. Because it was one of those, remember for a while Dana was like, Tito, you lose another fight and you're fired kind of thing. He was saying it in the media, and it seemed like Tito was winning like fights he shouldn't be all of a sudden. But Bader just didn't have any respect for him. And Tito's not a big puncher, but he's a big dude and he's really strong. And if you come charging forward with your chin out, oh yeah, he's going to knock you out. Yeah. Supposedly he still is fighting Chuck again. I don't know about
That'd be fun to watch.
And now the DC Brock Lesnar fight might be off.
Why?
And I forget who he's fighting now. They offered him someone else at heavyweight that's lucrative, so he's gonna do it. And John Jones is fighting Alexander Gustafsson. Now the cool part about that is the guy who is beat, like, that was a bloody fight. I mean, when they fought, because John Jones has kind of destroyed everyone he's fought, but this dude. He's a lanky Swede, and he's really durable, and he's not terribly muscular, but he's really long, and so John doesn't have a reach advantage. I think actually Gustafsson's reach is a little longer than his. And John, like, barely escaped with a decision, and I personally felt he lost that fight. I think Gustafsson outstruck him and just beat him. So they're going to do it up again, and maybe John comes in and beats the hell out of him this time. I don't know, but because John did break his toe at some point in that fight. It's pretty nasty looking. But I'm really curious to see if Gustafsson can't put him away.
Yeah.
Because he's got that style, right? It's like Ali versus Frazier. Frazier had the right style, the right chin, the right everything to beat Ali. You know, Ali figured it out, came back, and that's why I said maybe John Jones comes back and just starches him. But he had that. He had that. Like, you could just see Jones was out of his element. He was confused. He couldn't find distance. Nothing was working the way it normally does for him. And Gustafsson just kept coming forward. Every time he hit him, it didn't matter. He'd shake it off and keep coming at him, and it wore him out. You know?
Yeah.
That was the first time he's seen John Jones exhausted. So now coming back, he's going to be tested more stringently than ever. And I'll bet you he looks different. I'm putting it down now, folks. His body's going to look different. He's not going to risk getting caught with peds again. He's going to look different. I say let them all do them. You imagine?
Oh.
Free reign.
Yeah.
Just inject. Just
like East German type shit, you know?
Yeah. Get some good Russian steroids, German steroids, and let everyone do them. Let the girls do them. Let everybody do them. Who cares? You know how amazing the fights will be?
Oh.
Imagine how... Hey, everyone. Remember how much better baseball was in the 90s? Huh? Tell me it wasn't better. It was so much better than it is now. Come on. Put Mike Trout. We're almost batting 400. Put Mike Trout on steroids. Huh? How about batting 400 and hits 80 home runs? Why not? Let them all do it. Then no one has to cheat because everyone's doing it.
All right.
They'll still be looking for an edge. The guys that cheat now will be like snorting coke before they come out on top of all the roids, but whatever. John got busted for that too.
Well, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's when everyone's like, "Oh, he had a tainted supplement this time." Well, okay, I guess it looks like he did. That's fine. But he's been caught with coke. He's been caught with weed. He's been caught with he had. He thought he was taking erectile dysfunction drugs, he claimed one time when he popped. I mean, come on. Come on!
Uh-huh.
Then, he hits a pregnant woman with his car while he's wasted, flees the scene, but then turns around and comes back to get the weed out of the glove compartment. It's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
We're all seeing the same thing here. This is a guy who can't get out of his own way. I'm not saying he can't turn it around. I'm just saying... My eyes are open.
Yep.
He's already shown me who he is. I'm not saying he can't change, but I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm not a hater, right? Because I've had my blood test done. Found out I have low testosterone, which shocked me. It really did. I honestly didn't think that was going to happen.
That surprised me too.
Mainly because, I will say this, and this is what I told the doc, is that I don't have problems with like sex drive. I don't really feel like I have huge problems in the gym, except that every time we go, it feels like 5-6 months in, I hit a peak, and then it just starts to drop. You know, and it's not like we don't take days off here or there. We do. And, you know, the doc's assertion was that I was eating poorly or whatever. And he said that without knowing. But I can tell you, I definitely cheat on my diet. But at least 80% of the time all week long, I'm eating like rice and chicken and steamed vegetables and clean meat.
Mm-hmm.
I do. That's what we buy. I'll eat sushi every once in a while. I don't. I drink lots of water. I'm taking the right supplements. So, we have creatine, we have whey protein, we got BCAAs. We're doing those things, and we work out 4 times a week for at least an hour at a time. Dude, I'm exhausted all the time. All the time. I'm yawning. I'm tired all the time, and I'm getting 7. It's not that I'm not getting good sleep. I am. I sleep all night long. I'll sleep good 7 hours every night. So that was one of the things that prompted me to go. Because it just doesn't seem right.
Something's off.
Something's off, okay? I didn't think that it was testosterone, honestly, because it runs in my family. I was starting to wonder if I was diabetic. It really was. Starting to wonder. Turns out, no. That's not my problem. My blood pressure is good, so it's actually really good. My blood pressure is good. My cholesterol's good. Everything else is good. My free testosterone was at 230, which is the normal range ranges anywhere from 250 to 1100. So, like a 20-year-old athlete would be like in the 700 to 800 range naturally, or 600 to 800 range, or whatever. So it was really weird and concerning to hear that mine was that low. So, because then you get all the questions, right? Like, well, are you having any trouble at home? No. The answer is no.
The drive is there.
Yeah, I'm fine. And I don't have any complaints that nature, and I think we're doing well in the gym for our age and for what we've done in our lives to this point. But I do feel like it tapers off at a certain point, and it feels like I start to regress, and that's usually when we get hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen this time.
Me either.
So I got to see the doc, and he was weirded out by it just because there didn't seem to be any contributing factors. I mean, he tested my vitamin D levels are good. Everything's good other than that. So then I ended up giving blood like all week long. He had me in fasting labs the entire week because he kept coming up with these this other test he wants to do. So he's doing andro, he's doing growth hormone, he's doing everything. He did total testosterone. He's doing everything he can. He's trying to see what the heck's going on with me. But ultimately, it looks like he's going to put me on some sort of TRT therapy. And I don't know what kind. He's mentioned androgel, but he's also mentioned possibly doing shots. I told him I really don't want to do shots. I'd be fine with androgel. Mainly because, I'm not looking to get some sort of, big dose of testosterone. I just want it to be normal.
Yeah. That's
all I want. I just want to be normal for my age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 41. I don't expect to run around like a 25-year-old. But at the same time, I don't feel like I should be on the low end of the spectrum either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'm curious just because, like everybody else, I see how they treat it in sports. Those guys are on TRT. You look at Vitor Belfort, he's on TRT. The difference between him on TRT versus off is massive.
Yeah.
I gotta believe he's doing more than what a doctor would prescribe.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm curious what it'll do for me. So, I do plan to be very, very open and honest about it as we go down this path, and let everyone know what it does. So, FYI, I'm 286 pounds, 6'1". I benched 365 Sunday, squatting in the 300s, deadlifting in the 300s. Yeah, I've done 315 on incline. I pressed 240 over 220 over my head. That's about where I'm at. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. With the slingshot, I've done a little bit more on those exercises. We got that new black one. I benched 405 twice with that. And I did 315 many times. Or not many, but I think 4 or 5 times with that on incline. So obviously that's a huge help. But just, because you'll hear me at times say that I benched 405. And I did. But it was with the slingshot. But I'm curious to see how that goes.
It will help.
It has to, right?
It will.
For me, I'm just hoping that if nothing else, that I get energy levels that I think I should have.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll burn fat a little easier. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. But I'll be really open about it. It's a real eye opener just because I am a bigger guy, and when we say big not strong, that's kind of what we're talking about. I'm a big guy. I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. But to have that test done and find out that I do have an issue, it makes you wonder. Then what is your potential? Because someone told me, they were like, well, you've done this and you've done that. What's the point, Micah? What are you trying to do? And I said, well, I want the maximum reward for the effort I'm putting in. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying like I need to be at the top end of the spectrum. But how about normal and then see what I can do?
Yep.
That's what I want to know. Get those T levels in the middle of the range. Just get in the middle. Call it normal, and now let me see what I can do. I'm really curious. I think the next...
Yeah, me too.
It's
going to be interesting. It will be.
But
it'll be a big change for you.
Yeah. But next week we might have... I'm taking my voice recorder. It's a good recorder. It's the one I did when I interviewed Will a couple weeks ago. We're going to take that down. Maybe we can get... a little bit of a podcast on the drive. We'll see. Or even just if it's like a 20, 30-minute interview with Kyle and Dominic, or us just goofing around. Who knows? And maybe we'll include that on the next one. I do plan to have Will back on. We're going to get this Skype thing figured out, and then we'll try to have people with us regularly. So we've got more people to bounce our nonsense off of.
Yeah, exactly.
But, oh man, I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good.
We're out of here.